Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. At this time, everybody's in attendance. And now we're going to pause to seek guidance. I'm now going to read the mission statement, which is to provide, promote, or facilitate municipal services that meet the community needs while preserving, supporting, and enhancing quality of life for all. You've got the agenda before you. Is there any additions or deletions? There is one in camera. I'd like to add a contractual issue for later on. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now for delegations and presentations. The first on tonight is Mr. Ian Ferguson. I have a motion for Mr. Ferguson to come forward.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Ferguson, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Good evening, esteemed councillors, municipal staff, and fellow guests. My name is Ian Ferguson. This evening, I am representing St. Mary's Bay Community Centre Society. There are over 300 members in our society. Many of them living along Highway 101/1 between Digby and Weymouth. The residents have real concerns regarding their safety and especially the safety of their children as they use Highway 101/1 on a daily basis. I have information from a safety review dated April 2015. I will also use information from Wikipedia, Statistics Canada, the Nova Scotia Highways website, a report in the Tri-County Vanguard, and some personal observations. I will conclude my presentation with some requests from the municipal councillors and a question and answer session. I'm now going to clarify the stretch of Highway 101/1 that we are concerned with. Highway 1 joins Highway 101 at Deep River to cross Bear River, then splits apart to loop through Smith's Cove. Highway 1 rejoins Highway 101 at the western end of the loop, with Highway 101 assuming Highway 1's former alignment along St. Mary's Bay. A new controlled access segment of Highway 101 is proposed for this area, and it is assumed that Highway 1 will be re-signed along the stretch, if it is ever completed. At Weymouth, Highway 1 reappears and continues south along the shore to Yarmouth. Stephen Hawking, when he wrote A Brief History of Time, was quipped that his editor told him that for every equation he would use Hartley Sales. I was once told by a mentor that don't use facts or numbers in a presentation. It puts your audience to sleep. Unfortunately, facts and numbers are part of the next presentation. The Road Safety Review is a formal safety performance examination of an existing or future road or intersection by a road safety review team. It recognizes and reports on potential road safety issues and identifies opportunities for improvement in safety for all road users. The section of Highway 101/1 studied in the Road Safety Review is 23.3 kilometres long and runs through the communities of Marshalltown, Brighton, Barton, Plimpton, Gilbert's Cove and Ashmore. This is not a controlled access section of the highway. This corridor in 2015 had annual daily traffic volume ranging from 3,700 to 5,400 vehicles per day. The posted speed limit is 90 kilometers per hour, except for where the highway passes through Barton. There, the posted speed limit is 80 kilometers per hour. Highway 101/1 is considered part of the designated national highway system. Highway 101 serves as both a high-speed arterial highway and a local roadway, serving local residents, businesses, and community services. There are over 200 driveways servicing more than 400 homes in this section. Between 2007 and 2012, there were 114 collisions on this section of highway. There were no fatalities, but nearly 40% of the collisions resulted in injury. This indicates a higher crash severity than would be expected from a rural road of this type. Residents along the study corridor reported excessive speed and an increase in vehicle traffic, particularly commercial transport and logging over the last 20 years. They also highlighted the conflict between local use of the roadway, for example, children travelling to school or just cycling to see their friends, motorists accessing driveways and local services, with the commercial truck traffic travelling through their communities. Residents also expressed that current enforcement of existing speed limits is less than rigorous. A speed study through Barton, where the speed limit is 80 kilometers an hour, showed that 85% of the vehicles speed at 97 kilometers an hour through the posted 80 kilometer per hour limit. In cases where compliance with posted speed limits is low, studies have shown that lowering the posted speed limit does not reduce vehicle speed or collisions. Lowering the speed limit in the study area would not be an effective countermeasure and could actually increase the safety risk. According to the Nova Scotia Highway website, in reference to Highway 101, the Digby to Marshalltown corridor construction is scheduled to begin in 2017 with an anticipated completion and opening date of October 2018. From Stats Canada, as of October the 2nd, 2018, there were 57 traffic fatalities that year. In 2017, there were 48. 2016, there were 48. 2015, 53. And in 2014, 54. I recently drove up Highway 101/1 to view an accident site. This was last Thursday, June 20th. I found the site of the accident. I noticed the paint on the road was faded and had been worn away in spots. But I could still determine that the line painted on the road in this section was a broken single line, meaning that passing is legal provided the way is clear. On my way home, I passed the line painting crew heading south. I returned to the area yesterday and found that the road had been repainted. I was told of another accident site a few kilometers north. I saw this on the way down. It was easy to find, with the distinctive truck skid marks on the road. These skid marks took about 4 seconds to pass. I was doing the posted speed limit, so the skid marks were approximately 100 meters long. That's 109 yards, almost the length of a football field. During the fall, Diane Saulnier and her two daughters were going to visit her mother in Gilbert's Cove on Highway 101/1. As she was slowing down to make the left-hand turn into her mother's driveway, with her turn signal on, Diane was checking the rear view and side mirrors for the traffic behind her to make sure everybody had stopped. You can only imagine her shock and horror when she faced the sudden impact of another vehicle hitting the driver's side of her vehicle. She was hit by a car passing the cars that had stopped behind her. The collision was so hard, her SUV rolled over twice, settling it on its roof in a ditch on Highway 101/1. Fortunately, Diane and her children were all properly wearing seatbelts and using appropriate children's seating, and they only suffered minor injuries. An hour later in Ashmore, while the traffic was at a standstill, waiting for the road to be cleared, a tractor-trailer failed to stop for the line of vehicles that was stopped for the first accident and caused a chain reaction collision involving 3 other vehicles. A Yarmouth woman was airlifted to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. In conclusion, I know I have given you a lot of information this evening. I have told you what prompted me to be here tonight. I have explained to you why this is vital to the community. I have 4 statements. Our prime concern is the safety of the residents living on and daily using Highway 101/1, especially the children waiting for the school bus or riding their bicycle to a friend's house. What can Council suggest and what can Council do to help alleviate the dangers we face on this multi-purpose highway? Would Council kindly appoint a councillor to act as our liaison regarding this crisis? And what time frame can we expect to begin receiving working reports from your good officers in this regard? Councillors, municipal staff and other guests, thank you for your time. I hope I have inspired at least one person to ask, what can I do to make Highway 101/1 safer for all residents? Are there any questions?
I'd like to thank you for your presentation. I want to turn this over to our deputy warden because we do have a joint task force for the 101 that's in place, and it has a representation on it from Clare, Yarmouth, the town of Digby, and the municipality of Digby. And currently we have the deputy warden as the chair, and Councillor Ross sits on that committee as well. So, Linda, would you?
What it is, we, first of all, have been working with PIR over concerns on Highway 101/1. That's one of the reasons we're finally getting a little piece done. We keep meeting, we keep bringing up the concerns of what's happening. They did a safety control. They made some changes in the PIR's, I think PIR's real name, Transportation Infrastructure Renewal. Yeah, once it started, it always fine. They have made some changes already, like the place in
Something that
Clinton.
storage was taken down.
That was on
For parking
purpose.
because of the issues across the road.
Also, they have widened and added some
Rail curbs.
Thank you.
There was some street lights too.
So there has been things going on. The other thing that happens, we do have the minutes go out to different people that have been interested in it all along. For example, in Barton, Mr.
Ivan Bain.
Thank you. Mr. Ivan Baines gets notices of what's happening, as well as John Narrow, and there's several.
Or the group.
You can be certainly added on to that.
Brooks is on it too.
Yeah, she receives. you can certainly be added onto that. We will be meeting again. We've been sort of seeing what's been happening, waiting on the roundabout. TIR wanted us to wait a little bit before we have another meeting. Now, we only usually have about 3 meetings a year. But TIR is passing very slow due to money. No, I mean, that's the biggest thing they keep telling us every time we bring up stuff.
We have a federal election this fall, and we need somebody there too, so.
So we're hoping with an election coming, because right now, the feds are saying they're willing to do more to get the road done. It's the province that are dragging their feet. Because if we can get that cleared up, it will make a big difference in the area, because then you're gonna have only, or more local traffic.
Because the money comes from the feds and the province, the municipality doesn't deal with the roads. But we're there to speak for you.
And when we have meetings, you're more welcome to come in and sit and listen. I mean, we keep that very open, and I do a lot of questions throughout it. But that is the way we've been going, and we've had that committee for 6 years.
The committee was established in 2012.
Wow.
Oh my God, I guess it's been longer than I thought, 7 years. So, and the changes have come, it's just you may not notice because it's a very slow piece. Like last year when they were doing some work, I was concerned. I said, I'm glad you're doing the work, but I don't want stage 2 stopped on 101. Because I will tell you, you had people pushing all along. Your previous counselor was a big push on working towards this because of the safety and knowing how bad the road is.
And I've been pushing too, trying to get Steve, they wanna do it in 2 more stages, I wanna push those together. This is the biggest piece. Once this is done, the other 2 should be put together.
Once
and done at
the
same time.
bypass to Marshalltown is completed, the rest of the road will still be a dual function road. An arterial highway and a local highway with uncontrolled access.
Once this piece is done, right, there's the next phase. And that takes it again. It will be another road.
Yeah, but
They're
how
not
long?
going to use one as a highway. I mean, it's going to take time. And they can't stop trucks from coming through there because that's the only way to go. Unless you want to go on the South Shore side.
Yeah, like Councilor Ross stated, like, we're trying to get them to do the whole piece at once, and we've spoken to the Minister of Transportation on this matter as well. And my biggest concern about it is that the next phase, or even if it is done in phases, the next phase isn't even in their 5-year plan if you go on the Department of Transportation's website. And we're trying to get that on the 5-year plan, because it's all well and good to do part 1, but then it took us like almost 30 years to get this piece done. And no, really, I mean, like, I can remember down at the Barton Fire Hall back in the 90s when they had public meetings about trying to do this road. So it's a huge concern for us as well. And what we can do on the interim is we can send your concerns off to our MLA to show what's going on and the concerns from the community. And another thing we can do is we can also talk to the police department, like you stated about people driving 97 kilometers an hour through an 80.
85% of the drivers were
Right.
caught doing 97, which is almost 20 over the limit.
Right. A few years ago, up in the valley in Kings County, they had a huge, high death rate annually. It was terrible, and they just put more enforcement on the road, and the next year it just dropped. And I know, like you said earlier, speed isn't always the factor, but it is a factor if we can get people to slow down and drive actually the speed limit. And because we don't want to see accidents on that road any more than what you do. And we've been very thankful and fortunate that nobody's been killed on it for quite a number of years. But like you stated earlier in your presentation, there's been a lot of people that's been seriously hurt. And like those 2 accidents that just took place. So.
But that accident that just took place, you remember, he did not have any sight to see that accident happening. And it takes them at driving at 90 plus an hour to 100, 3 football fields to stop. So he couldn't have been going that fast if he only got like 1 football field. Does that make sound awful to put it that way? But
That was a
is
different, that accident that I was referring to where I measured the tracks was a different accident. A woman stopped her car in the middle of the road to watch the gentleman disassembling the Catholic Church.
Oh.
So she just stopped in the middle of the road. I'm not sure if the truck hit her or not, or if she just got really, really lucky.
I saw those black marks too. Councilor Merrill, or Rossinen?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you could do too, Ian, is maybe forward that off to Linda. Maybe what we'll do is put that on the RCMP agenda for the 3rd. Maybe
As far as
make
the
it,
safety concerns. or
maybe
the
they'll do some
enforcement.
control up, enforcement on that road. We're gonna have a meeting July 3rd with RCMP. We'll put that on the agenda if you wanna forward that to Linda.
Sure.
Also, I've been in Halifax at NSFM conferences, and I have got up and spoke to the Minister of Transportation, Lloyd Hines, and I've offered him to come down. He hasn't come on the invitation yet, but I have personally offered him and talked to him to come down and see this road. Told him not to take the South Shore Road to Yarmouth next time, to come this way and come talk to us. So we are trying. It's going to take provincial and federal money to do it. And with the federal election coming up, it's kind of stalled right now because you have Colin Fraser stepping down as maybe a new person. So we're just waiting. We want it to happen.
Deputy Warden?
Also, all those details I want to take them to TIR to help with our push.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, the Fed, Colin Fraser has said, they have the money if the province puts it on. So it's the province that's been delaying it. And when I spoke to Lloyd Hines, he had a different opinion on stage 2 down here. Because he felt no one had really spoke to him about it until we were.
Councilor Manager?
I live on that section of highway, and I've seen the increase in traffic over the last 5-10 years. It's just coming to Digby at supper time. There's even 10 vehicles at a time. 20 seconds later, you get another 6, and people get antsy. And one pass. So that stretch of highway does have to have something done with it. And I think if every one of your council can do their part, and you can call our MLA, if each of your 300 members
Call the MLA, I think it's
call the MLA also, put pressure on the province to.
Just call the MLA and we'll get it going.
Can somebody give you the contact number, contact information for the MLA?
I can email you.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions for Mr. Ferguson?
Nope.
Thank you for your presentation, and we'll see what we can do on our part to try to alleviate some of the issues with that. Like, we'll go to the police advisory committee with it, and also TIR and the MLA.
Colin Fraser's input too. Federal government.
Well, I was going to make a comment that with the federal election coming up, it's a great time to talk to all the candidates and ask them what they're prepared to do in terms of funding highway programs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, David.
Okay, the next presentation is from Alfred Dowsett, our building inspector for dangerous unsightly property.
Yes, 139 Water Street. A couple houses put together. One house is falling apart, and the other house that was packed originally.
Well, thank you, Council. I know this is not the norm usually from committee, but since time was one of the reasons I asked if it was possible to get here with Council, and I can't hear.
I can't. No.
Jay, that any better? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Usually it's the committee that we meet, but with summer coming on and no committee next month, I wanted to get this done with. That's why I'm here in council usually. I think I passed on my small report. That was a complaint that came in about a home in Freeport. And so I did an inspection. I went down and looked it over. That's inside the house. My report, I guess, like it says, it's not something I feel can be repaired. I mean,
No,
it's like, some people say, well, I used to do this for a living and I wouldn't know where to swing a hammer first. But, so anyway,
it's like a hammer.
it's probably go right through.
Yep.
So anyway, I contacted the person that owns it, and that person is in Florida, I believe. And I sent the mailed this on to him. A little hoarse now, I don't know what it is. And I heard from him just last week. He emailed me back that he had got it. He was asking some questions about could he do it himself, how much would we charge to do it. He was looking at maybe hiring somebody and they would like scavenge and save the things that were good, and I can't imagine what that would be, the grass maybe. So anyway, I answered him back. I think you have that too on your packet, that of how usually it's done and the time frame that we're looking at. And I haven't heard anything back from him, so he must have got it but he didn't answer back. So I guess at this time I would be looking for approval to do an order this week and have that sent on to him for probably 30 days, to have that taken down. If he wishes to do it in that time, that's fine. If not, then I can gather some estimates and have that taken down quickly and cleaned up. The area made safe.
Any questions?
I'm just going to make the motion. I so move that the building located at 139 Water Street in Freeport start the dangerous and unsightly demolition. Thank you. Order. Can you get that word in?
I'll second.
Order to demolish.
In order to demolish, yes.
And you second
On the
that?
demolition order, yeah.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, approved. Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yeah.
Next is the approval of minutes of May the 27th.
Motion to approve. I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Unfinished business from minutes of May the 27th. RCL branch number 22, Bear River. Did we ever receive?
No, I had reached out to them before our last meeting, and they had indicated they would get something to me, but I've yet to see any type of application for funding from this group.
Didn't we send a letter for chairs or something several months ago?
No, that's a DP. This is the
Okay.
Bear River region.
I suggest that we take this off of our agenda until if another application comes forward, then we'll look at it at that time.
Yep, so we're ready to go.
Okay. And the next is the Gwen Wilson, the presentation on the climate crisis.
But, okay, that's where I said I wanted to do a presentation, since, in here, I had, because I think it's important to see, which they had requested. And Pat put me down under,
Read now.
What did I read that?
so,
It's on the agenda.
Did you send the paperwork with the presentation? What was it, Gwen Wilson stuff? Yeah, I read all that. With all the whereases and stuff, and the resolves.
No, that's
no.
That's not what Linda's dropping
No.
off here.
No.
So I've never read this.
Yes, we heard,
Well, then, okay, fine.
we heard that last week, or a month ago from Gwen.
Okay.
But your presentation,
That's what I'm talking about.
Goes, yes, because of the, CBRA meeting I was just to, this you need to hear, and it makes you,
Also, Linda, what I felt that we would want to do with this is, before we make a decision, I'd like for us to have a meeting with Terry, who's our renewable energy climate change coordinator, to try to sit down and get his guidance on the request as well, because they're asking for, not just for us to declare it an emergency, but they've got action items included.
and you do know Canada was declared, a week or so ago?
Maybe.
Climate change by the federal.
I don't have an issue with that, but I have an issue with not looking at the action items, with getting some advice from our staff on that. But anyway, we can do your presentation now.
Yeah, I do want you to see this.
Okay.
It's only a very few, it's, 6, 7.
What's the source, if you don't mind me asking?
Doctor, I will tell you exactly who the source is. Dr. Robert Muggin, he's a specialist in city security and new technology. He's co-founder and research developer of La Gabrielle Institute, a nonprofit do tank known for developing award-winning data visualizations and technology platforms to improve public safety, social justice, and climate action. He is also co-founder and principal of the SecDep Development Group, a digital risk consultancy working at the interface of the digital economy and urbanization. He leads a team to help city, corporate, and nonprofit leaders improve their future preparedness through high resolution diagnostics, strategy development, leadership training, and public talks. He is originally from Nova Scotia, actually Cape Breton, and he is based in Brazil.
Wow! Pretty impressive.
Oh my God, he was so good.
And that was Dr. Robert Muga?
Yeah. That's why I had it right.
There it is. TED Talk. I listen to TED Talks endlessly. I love them suckers. Listen to them like the radio.
This is Give-A-Wow, a new way to give and receive the recognition we all
So here's a prediction. If we get our cities right,
That's not the one.
Biggest city space in 60 cities. That one, the 17-minute one?
No, we don't have a 17-minute one. Great. 3 things. I don't know how that helps. But that's all just part of the presentation.
You listen to a lot of strong.
And he will, when he talks, you don't see him. He just does a modeling and discussion in Nova Scotia, what's happening.
That looks like a presentation.
Well, that's what he talked on.
Right. This is a link for a YouTube video.
Yes, they told us just to go to YouTube when we hear what he had to say.
That didn't work when we put in that address.
YouTube.com.
Watch, question mark B equals
Yeah.
and all that, and that didn't.
That didn't fully know.
You said the word Nova Scotia was in it? And Nova Scotia. Well, if we can't find it, you can always send us a link later and we can watch it at home.
That is the way, no, I really,
Review it at home and we'll check her out when Rob, or when Terry comes in.
Well, I was thinking if we can't find it tonight, I'd like to have a
Well,
meeting to
yeah,
talk
I think
about this, and we could do it with Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have some thoughts on things. This committee would be a good chance to get some of that environmental stuff dealt with.
see, that's the one I'm showing it tonight, that's where they sent it. All right, I'll get a hold of them again, this is what they gave every one of us.
No, they could email you the link, and you
Yeah.
can forward that along, and it'll work then.
Okay.
So, we can
The
put,
biggest thing is, they're telling us about what's gonna be happening in this province, what's gonna be happening in the Maritimes Atlantic. It's happening faster in the west than in the east, and what is happening in it, it was fabulous, and he had the modeling showing you what was happening.
The fastest warming body of water on the face of the earth is the Gulf of Maine.
No,
The
it
face of
isn't.
the earth, was it? Was about 2 years ago, they
Well,
said.
it isn't. It's
What's now, where's it now?
It's actually in the west and the north.
2 years ago, they were saying Gulf of Maine.
well, I watched an article on Netflix over the weekend, and it was talking about climate and everything. In Bangladesh, for example, they're expecting that they're so low, that with the rising sea levels by 2030, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. And they said that, New York City is in a lot of trouble, because, yeah, all these low, sea levels, and then actually they talked about the Netherlands and so New Orleans, there's huge problems around the world.
There's over 100 million people live in Bangladesh. Europe almost collapsed from the refugees from Syria, which was a population, less than Canada? A lot less than Canada. So imagine if 100 million people go and you move.
Right.
What would happen?
So if it's okay, it's up to everybody tonight, but if it's okay, I'd like to
I would
table
like,
this.
okay, but I would like to show it when I've got it, I'd like to show it here,
Yeah.
for us all to hear together.
You want to hear or in the meeting with Terry?
Well, it doesn't matter to me, I
So
mean,
we can show it in the other room too.
yeah, that's what I mean, as long as we all hear it, I'm
See it
gonna
together.
send him an email now.
All right.
For me, as long I don't, declaring a climate crisis and then without any meat to it, I'm not interested. I'm only interested if there's, something solid behind it.
So we need to have a discussion about this, and we'll do it with Terry in the room as well.
Big bucks.
Okay, we're going to move on to CAO report. You've got the meeting dates and reminders for the summer. Takes you right down through till September the 30th.
There is the addition of the, on July 3rd at 2 o'clock, I think I sent out everyone it's not on my report, but it's just settled on Friday.
The public meeting for the marketing levy.
I have a public meeting on that day in July 3rd.
July 3rd,
Please double check this.
it's in the afternoon.
Give it in at 7 p.m.
So this is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I have 6 p.m. written on mine. Oh, that's RCMP.
Yeah, this isn't on this here.
That's what I'm saying, it's not
Oh,
on
good. What time is it today? Did you say?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. and it's going to be at the Digby Fire Hall upstairs. So,
Can't wait.
okay, is there any conflicts or any issues with any of these dates for anybody here? Okay. Action items from the previous meetings, is there any?
Other than, I think in the report, we did send a letter to the Department of Justice regarding the potential, or member, and we haven't received any response today.
Update on capital projects 1920. That's for the, to make a motion to approve the capital budget?
That's later in the
Okay.
agenda.
That's just an update on capital projects. No, it's just the update right now. Is anybody have any questions regarding them? Okay, the next is gonna be the financial report and approval of the May 2019 payables of $680,695.20.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. The next, the income and payables expense report from May 2019, it wasn't available. We'll move on to the strategic priorities items, the update on the strategic priorities work plan. I believe that we're gonna have a meeting coming up right soon, and we're gonna have a discussion on that. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
We're gonna move right into the standing committee items, bylaw and policy. The first is a recommendation that I serve on, or I get appointed to the Western Regional Crown Land Stakeholder Interaction Committee. And just for Deputy Warden and George's information, I did attend a meeting. I sat in as an observer, and they only meet twice a year, and it's with DNR staff, so it's a good way to find out what they're doing with regards to the Crown lands. So I feel it would be beneficial to serve on this, and they've got representation there from Annapolis County, Shelburne, Queens, and Chester as well. So you made a motion to move that? Do you have a seconder?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, approved. The next is recommendation to proceed with phase 1 of the Fundy Title Sculpture Project at the cost of $18,000.
I'll make that motion.
Seconder?
Second it.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved.
We deserve art as much as the next community.
The next is a recommendation to approve the 2019-2020 operating budget of $8,973,098.
So,
We have to put it on the floor before we have them.
okay, make a motion first.
Have to have a motion.
I'll motion to approve the 2019-2020 operating budget of $8,973,098.
I'll second that.
Okay. Is there questions regarding the budget?
It's a bit of a presentation.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that.
I'm not going to go through it word by word, but on your desk you'll find a package like this. I'm just kind of through a little bit of the information and a high level of what we've been going over the last probably 3 months. This is our final draft for the 1920 statement of estimate for municipality of Digby. This is ending March 31st, 2020. The vision of the municipality of the district of Digby was top in line in the preparation of this budget and are summarized as follows. Maintaining a healthy and natural environment, having a well-maintained infrastructure and facilities that meet community needs that allows growth and development and prosperity, building a strong and vibrant community by attracting, supporting, and retaining businesses and residents, building social capital and engaging citizens and partners to improve the well-being and diversity of the community, and being fiscally sustainable government focused on strategic decision-making, transparency, and inclusiveness. And all of these things were brought out of your council strategic priorities from January 2017. So we prepared this with no changes to residential tax rate of $1.30 and commercial rate of $1.85. Within this budget, we're looking at approximately 5% in revenues and expenses. This budget, in total, this year is $8,973,098. Tax revenue, our proposed budget is $6,837,191. And within here, our tax revenue is up by 3.2%. Our cap rate was set at 2.9. And I just gave you the rates, no changes in area rates. Grants and move taxes, our proposed budget is $137,662. Then that is our grants and moves and forest acreage. Services provided to other governments, our proposed budget is $88,570, and this will include our municipal agreements. Sales service, our proposed budget is $136,490. It's our hangar rent and a bit of a reduction for jet fuel sales, and we have an addition of our dispatch services in there. Revenue from owned sources, proposed budget of $638,092. We're getting additional provincial court fees are rising. Commercial garbage fees increased a bit, and higher interest on our bank deposits with higher negotiated rates. Unconditional transfers from other governments. We have a budget of $1,025,593. In there, we have our equalization, frozen still at 200,014.15 amounts, and we have an increase in our Nova Scotia Power Grant of $104,531. Conditional transfers from other government, our proposed budget for that is $99,500. This will include projects that have been presented to council. Transfers from own funds and our reserves. Our proposed budget there was $10,000. We have a $1,000 grant available to support up to 10 trail routes. And that is our, I guess, a quick overview of our revenues. Expenses. We have our general government services. Our proposed budget $1,619,417. Includes 2.2% cost of living, increases in pension, and a decrease in health premiums. We have our low income tax rebate this year of $250 to $500 for family incomes do not exceed $26,000. And we have a bit of an increase for our transfer to assessment services. We have protective services, proposed budget this year $2,422,608. Within there, we have an RCMP increase of 1.2% and an increase in grants to fire departments of 4.44%. Our transportation services, proposed budget $685,149. In there, we do have our King's Transit increased budget by 53% due to increased budget and then prior year deficit. Within there, we also have our town of Digby is doing their snow and ice removal this year, or again this year. Environmental health services, we have a proposed budget of $1,317,509. And in there, we've got our garbage contract, which is up 5% this year. Public health services, we have a proposed budget of $45,000. Just the deficits for the housing authority. And environmental development services, proposed budget of $422,852. And this will include cost sharing with Annapolis County for costs for the comfort station in Bear River, and a possible cost share of tourism employee, cost share visitor information employee on funny roads, EV charging expenses. And within that category, our DH business contract has been reduced this year. Recreation and culture services, proposed budget of $624,662. We have a bit of an increase in the recreation budget. We have our last payment for the funding Y, $12,500, and included in there is the title sculpture phase 1. And our education, proposed budget of $1,471,900, and in there, the Tri-County School Board has a 2.02 increase. Our financing and transfers, this year we have a proposed budget of $364,000. So $179,000 of that is our principal on our venture. We're doing a $50,000 transfer for doctor recruiting and $115,000 capital reserves, and also a transfer for the trail space reserves. And that sums up to our $8.9 million budget.
Things are going good.
Anybody have any questions? We have a balanced budget moving forward.
Any questions? No questions?
And much more detail line by line is available in the package on your desk, so you can keep those and use it as a reference for next year.
If there's no questions, then I'm going to ask, we've already got a motion on the floor, so all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Approved? Okay, the next is the recommendation to approve the tax rate resolution for 2019-2020.
So moved. Do I have to read that whole thing?
Yeah.
Be resolved pursuant to the authority contained in section 72 of the Municipal Government Act, the Council of the Municipality District do hereby adopts the statement of estimates in the amount of
You're going a little bit too fast, David.
and $98. That's presented.
Put your mic over there too, so people can hear you.
Be it further resolved that a commercial rate pursuant to section 72(6)A of the Municipal Government Act be established at $185 for $100 of assessment. A residential and resource rate pursuant to section 72(6)B of the Municipal Government Act be established at $1.30 for $100 of assessment. And further be it resolved that the following area rates pursuant to section 75(2) be established for the provision of fire protection, street lighting, and sidewalk maintenance. Sidewalk maintenance, Conway Sidewalk Code, ARCM, 4.5 cents per $100. Mount Pleasant, ARMM, 4.5 cents per $100. Street lighting, Weymouth Falls Light Rate, ARLO, 407 cents per $100. Bear River Light Rate, ARL1, 407 cents per $100. Big Neck Light Rate, ARL3, 4.07 cents per $100. Garden Light Rate, ARL5, 407 cents per $100. Culloden Light Rate, ARL7, 407 cents per $100. Smith's Cove Light Rate, ARL8, is 4.07 cents per $100. Weymouth North, ARL9, $4.07 or 4.07 cents per $100. Fire Protection, DB Neck Fire District, ARF2, 5 cents per $100. Smith's Cove Fire District, ARF3, 6 cents per $100. Freeport Fire District, ARF4, 5 cents per $100. Tiverton Fire District, ARF5, 5 cents per $100. Westport Fire District, ARF6, 5 cents per $100. Martin Brighton Fire District, ARF7, 10 cents per $100. Plimpton Fire District, ARF8, 5 cents per $100. Weymouth Fire District, ARF9, 5 cents per $100. Bear River Fire Districts, ARFB, 5 cents per $100. Phoebe Fire District, ARFB, 5 cents per $100. In Southville, Danvers Fire District, ARF0, 15 cents per $100. Assessment. Be it further resolved, the municipality will bill and collect on behalf of the commissioners of the Village of Westport, the Village of Tiverton, the Village of Freeport, and the Village of Westport, and the amount as determined by each commission at duly convened meetings. Pursuant to the authority granted by the Municipal Government Act and policy number 2001, municipal tax collection, Municipal Council hereby sets the interest rates on overdue taxes at the rate of 15% per annum and an interest rate of 10 cents per annum be established for overpayment on taxes due to assessment appeals. This is to certify that the here we go. I could have done that twice as fast.
You've made the motion.
Yeah, so
Do we have a seconder?
I'll second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The next recommendation is to approve year one of the capital budget plan for 2019 and 2020.
so moved.
Do we have a seconder? No, now we have questions.
So at our last bylaw and policy meeting, we had reviewed, excuse me, year one of our capital budget in the total amount of $758,000. And at a future meeting, we're going to be looking at year 2 to year 5. So the budget in front of you today is, it's broken out to under transportation, and the major issue, or the major projects in there are some repairs to the Mount Pleasant sidewalk of $10,000, paving at the parking lot at the airport, which is phase 3 of $20,000, and reshingling the roof of the airport admin building for $7,000, and the a transit bus to replace the vicinity of $400,000. Under environmental health services, there are updates to the Smith's Cove sewer treatment plant, as well as replacing electrical panel in some of the pumping stations, and we're putting in some money in the budget for any pump replacement if needed only. And in Digby and Bear River, it's the same. If there's any replacement, although in the Irving pump station there will be and has been replacement of the pumps there in for $20,000 plus. There's work that needs to be done there associated with that for $15,000. So that brings total wastewater of $151,000. In environmental development services, the tidal and rain gauges of $50,000, which we're hoping to get some funding for, $25,000 of it. And if needed, there's some money in there from our meeting that we had with Terry of reconfiguring of the biogas generator of $35,000. There's no definite plan there, but it's there. And we're putting in $50,000 for rural broadband if something comes up. So under recreational culture, it is $35,000, which will be to update the interior of the Digby Library. So I don't know if anyone has any questions.
The sidewalk enclosure, is that an extension or just a repair?
Repair of existing.
Yeah.
Just paving of it and.
10,000 isn't very much if you're gonna put in a new sidewalk.
No, it's definitely not a new.
Okay.
Deputy Warden, you had a comment about that sidewalk, you sent an email out.
They like to see it, yes, extended, and I'd like them to discuss it in the plan. I'd like to talk about it some more, because I'm being asked, you know, what we're looking at for timeline, if any.
Okay. So we'll look at it when we do our capital plan for year 2 to 5?
Yeah, that's what
Okay. Is there any questions pertaining to the capital budget? If not, can I have a motion to approve? We already did that. Sorry, that's my fault. We've got a motion on the floor.
I'll second
All
it.
in favor?
Aye.
Sorry about that. That's what happens when you do it and then you delay.
Sorry, I should have waited. In a hurry.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is under Committee of the Whole, the business items, and the first is FRIIP resolution. Is that the resolution to council for the tidal gauges?
Yes.
And you want me to read that one too?
Sure.
Whereas potential flood areas of certain communities within the district of Digby have been identified in our NCCAP are prone to flooding, and whereas issues such as coastal flooding and erosion will need to be assessed based on conditions in the past and present and into the future, considering the impacts of climate change. Therefore, be it resolved that the municipality district of Digby apply for funding through the Flood Risk Management Flood Risk Infrastructure Investment Program for the purchase and installation of 5 tide gauges and 5 weather stations for the following areas: River, Weymouth, Eastbury, Freeport, Digby.
I have a motion to approve. Seconder.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
There's no suspicious out in there.
The next business item and for tonight's council is Westport Recreation Auxiliary Funding Request. That was for the flower pots, I believe.
I moved $200 for flower pots for the Westport Recreational Auxiliary.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Yeah.
Next request was the Electric City New France Society.
My favorite thing.
So this originally came to the Committee of the Whole, who asked that it be moved to council, but I've been unable to. I reached out to Hal a couple times, and I've talked to Terry, and they're yet to provide me with any kind of cost estimate on the solar streetlight.
Is that something that Terry's?
Oh.
Or do they have something in mind?
Well, I didn't think it was Terry's job to do their work
Yeah, sure,
for
sure,
them.
sure.
I asked him, and he really had no idea. He'd have to go research. So we really don't know what they're looking for. So hopefully I'll have something soon.
Yeah, can I ask that we table this for the next, until we have more information?
Yep.
Okay. The next is used battery disposal. And from Wally Debris is
We did a letter about this eight years ago.
saying that people are going down to his place and dropping off batteries from Digby.
I know, which is crazy because they get dropped off at the
In the
what's
workshop.
that group called?
Conway Workshop.
Conway Workshop already collects them in Digby.
So yeah, so I reached out to, after we got the letter from Wally, I reached out, because I was aware that there was a program Waste Check had set up years ago lots of people, organizations in basically the waste check region. You get a box, you could put in rechargeable batteries and cell phones. Generally, a lot of the boxes are no longer in circulation. It wasn't that highly a used program. It's beneficial, and there are pickup locations in many communities. So we can certainly circulate to Wally. He can be part of that program, and you just ship the box back when it's full. I guess it's up to council. I have received no feedback from waste check staff or from people coming to our counters looking for options for disposal. This is the first.
I don't have any, and I'm not a cell phone store, so. I get the odd person come in once in a while, and I direct them over to the Conway workshop. I mean, we used to have boxes too, but like I said,
You filled them
never
up
got.
and mailed on carriers,
Yeah,
right?
and about
Yeah, something
10
like
years
that.
ago.
Yep.
10 years ago, it was
That
very
program
popular
still
when there
does
were
exist.
batteries, but now that the phones don't have the batteries come out of them, you don't see it anymore.
I was gonna suggest to Wally that I could do a couple boxes like he has. Like it's like a plastic container, you just put a little sign on top of it, cut a little hole in it. And I said that I would drop it off, maybe talk to a couple of business owners on the way up the neck. Like maybe that's something we could do, if we know somebody might be interested in having a, like I can stick one in the school pretty easily.
Well, why not just tell, business owners to tell people to take it to Conway
Conway
Workshop?
Workshop.
That's what they do, that's part of how they
You shouldn't
earn
be having
their
that
money
problem.
to keep the.
I don't like
Yeah.
shipping somebody off to drop something off that's a 4-hour round trip from the islands, you know what I mean?
You just said you were coming up the next day.
But I could do it too.
All I'm saying is if you tell people when they make trips, they can bring them, it may not be.
They'll go right
available.
by Conway Workshop.
And I can circulate the information from Amy on the program. It's up to businesses, they can just sign up for it, right? So I will circulate that to all council, and you can distribute it if you want to
And why
anyone.
not have something like that put in our coastline? I know he's looking at how full it is but maybe it is something that needs to be in the coastline for people to know.
It does seem popular, these boxes full.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much room we have in this one, but
Oh, you want to
in
mention
the
it?
future, yeah.
And put that on.
Okay, so,
So I'll tell Wally that we're gonna communicate the project program that we already have, that WasteCheck has, that you build a box, we send it to Ontario.
Yep, and I think through this chain, I have Wally's email, so I can send him directly.
I might just
program.
grab a couple of businesses, just make Wally happy, or drop one off at the school or something.
Yep.
In my own capacity.
all right, the next on the agenda for tonight is the Acacia Valley Trail. And that's regarding, concern and letter we received, from Larry Goodwin. And, pertaining to, the work that's been done on the trail system. And, municipality has invested monies into this trail in the past as well. And the last thing I think we would want to see is a clear cut that would wipe out the trail. So, in your package, there's a letter there that can be sent off on behalf of council. And it's basically to support the Acacia Valley Trail Association submission regarding proposed harvest on the Pine Brook lot. And then it goes on to talk about our involvement with the creation and management of the Acacia Valley Trail since the 1990s. So
this is a government-owned parcel that is coming up for.
some crown land that's coming up from some blocks that are coming up, but the ask is to have a buffer.
Because I know they asked for something like that over in Alberta or on Annapolis.
Motion to approve? Yeah. Do you have a seconder to the motion? Any questions pertaining to the letter? Councilman Manzer?
Yeah, if it's crown land, but if it's private property, 100 meters is quite a bit of land to give up. If I'm a landowner and I got 100 acres going along a trail, it's a lot to ask for a private landowner.
Yep.
So it is 100% crown.
Oh, okay.
Right, so the trails, there's some of the trails that are on private over basically kind of on this side, and so they connect onto the crown, so this is 100% crown.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Approved, thank you. The next item on the agenda for tonight is the Digby Fire Department fire safety request that's to,
Is that just Digby, or is that the schools in Digby County?
well, it's put on, the Digby Fire Department's the one that put this forward, and it's a fundraiser, I think, for the fire department as well. And like, they get so much out of it, and this company gets so much out of it. And they put a book out, they say, to give to the students, and regarding fire safety, and it's called Partners in Safety. So what's the feelings of council?
We have a fund there for $250 for students, and if you would, something like that.
It wouldn't
No,
qualify,
wouldn't
that,
do
those are school programs.
Did we do anything last year? Did we just?
This is a youth
Deputy
that,
Warden.
there's a lot of fire departments ask for income fund.
Deputy Warden?
To me, isn't it under advertising?
Well, it is under advertising.
So why can't we make them a donation, for looking at it, it works out to $15 a child, and then we give them $105 for the advertising towards this.
So I don't know, they're not asking for advertising, they're asking for us to provide $15 per child.
We could do a supporting group at $86.25. That's the entry level that they're looking for.
There's not too much to ask, so with, Freeport Fire Department puts on a fundraiser and asks us for a portion to be paid for. $86 isn't a heck of a lot if we are gonna make change things around a bit.
I personally would be looking at supporting partner or even a third-class partner. I think that either one would be, ideal, because you are talking about fire safety. I mean, how many people think you only, check your fire alarm once a year, and they want you to check it every month? Those kind of things, I think, the public need to know, and it's a good thing for children.
It gives the public a little bit, once a year, the kids come home, and it's the parents that get to actually see it, because they get the stuff in the book bag, and give them an idea. But yeah, we should be checking that stuff out.
Councillor Tudor made a good point, though, that what if other fire departments in the municipality want to put the same ask in?
But for this type of thing, it's gonna be less because they got smaller schools, but I say yes.
Well,
I mean, we're talking about, it's for a book for schools.
I will say one thing, they do something like this, but without money involved for the fire departments on the islands with the school, and the kids do come home with a ton of good information. Like, my girls are like, that's gonna kill us all, sort of thing, right off the bat. It is.
okay.
I'm gonna make a motion that we support the fire department for the 1/3 class partners, the amount of $172.50.
Okay, do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Any other questions? Any other questions? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Approved.
All right, we gotta keep that in mind on the next person that asks. But if they do something nice for the school, then sure. Why not?
Okay, the next, we'll move on. Information items. We have correspondence from King's Transit Authority regarding the summer student pass program, and I think that's great. $30 they can ride the summer.
Use it every day, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. It's a really good deal. Hopefully it drives our ridership up. Yeah. And we received a letter from the Congrès Mondial Acadienne, which was nice to, from the letter of support that we gave. Claire and Argyle got that. So that's going to be quite a big event, I think, in 2024. The next was CBRM's correspondence that they provided on their declaration for the climate change. So once again, we can look at that when we have further discussions pertaining to that item. There's no general information items for tonight. There's no advisory committee meetings or minutes or reports. So there's no other council committees. There's joint intermunicipal committees, minutes and reports. You've got the facility manager and active living coordinator June reports from Dark and the recreation directors. Is there any questions pertaining to those minutes or reports? then the next is the Digby Municipal Fire Association, Barton Brighton Fire Department. Any questions to our reps? So did they settle on a date for the fall?
They're waiting for us to give them the date.
Well, they want us to give them the date now, so they're
But
okay
we
with.
didn't get a lot in.
They never did. They have till the end of June, don't they?
Still have to the end of the week.
Okay.
Did you bring it in? I'll have some.
I sent them out a letter, I was thinking it was the middle of June, and I sent it out to everybody, that we needed them, by the, not just names, you gotta fill out the form. And as far as I know, we have Weymouth, we have Freeport, we have, I think, Westport. And I think that's, I thought we had 3 or 4.
Can we send out a reminder to the departments that we haven't heard from, just to say that the deadline is at the end of the week? Would we be able to do that?
I can do it,
Okay,
I mean,
you can do it.
I've got everybody.
Okay, well then, if you could do that, that would be good.
We've received and who we haven't. Pat has that.
My only
somewhere.
concern will be Barton and Brighton, because I don't, oh, I should have an email from that one, I was gonna say, I have Cliff's email.
Jason's the new chief.
Yeah, I know,
It's right here.
I sent that, that came from me.
Okay, we'll move on, King's Transit, May minutes, June special meeting minutes, general manager, ridership and revenue reports. Is there any questions?
Small numbers, small increases, what we're doing.
Yeah, I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, but did we ask him about, the, electric vehicles?
Yeah, they're going to reimburse.
Okay.
So it was a short conversation after that.
Yeah. Yep,
Plus, they really wouldn't work on ours.
I kinda didn't think they would either.
Energy recapture in cities of constant stops is where why they work well.
Okay, is there no questions? If not, you've got the senior safety June 2017 and June 2018 AGM minutes and the coordinator's June report. Any questions? The next is waste checks, April minutes, June 2018 AGM minutes, April, May, waste check connections and waste check connections annual report. Any questions?
We had our AGM, and, at the AGM, actually, the executive has stayed the same. Leland is chair, I am vice chair. Our treasurer is, Jeff Sunderland, who was last time. And then our committees, there was a couple of changes on the committees that, when I get them, we'll send them in. It was actually a pretty good meeting, don't you think, Jeff?
It was?
George?
No quarrels, no fights.
But we had the ice cream cake. Oh, no, that was forgotten again, sorry.
Okay.
I do have a question for you regarding waste check, and that's the containers, the compost containers. I know they're getting, the original ones are getting quite old, and
Okay,
how have we done over the years on replacing them? Like, where are we?
okay, what has happened, it's been in the last 2 years, and it's getting worse, because the old ones are 20 years old, and they're breaking. They're breaking awful. There is a concern about age, but there's also a concern is how, the collector may be handling all over the counties, are they pushing them down to rock or that type of thing. There is, some people really like the round ones, but it eventually will be all round. So yes, there will end up being more orders, and
I know we've been
we
replacing
can't
some.
keep up with the demand.
No, but we've been replacing them every year, but I just was wondering, how many of the old ones do we still have left?
Oh, there's
'cause we've been replacing for years now.
Yeah.
So Waste Check has been working on a report since the fall. They've just had a sequence of staffing challenges that have drawn core staffing away from being able to finish up this report. So they're trying to do the report for all municipal units at the same time, so it did, because they basically had to hand crunch 20 years worth of numbers. They've tracked all this stuff, but not with a report like this in mind. So they've had Nicole going back and crunching 20 years worth of numbers and entering it in. So we're hoping now that some of those staffing, they've got a full-time education coordinator. They did find a bilingual person that had been a challenge for them. I think we down one person and a summer student is filling in, but they're hoping that report, because most of us that are trying to compile budgets, you saw last year we had a small increase over what was budgeted. We added a little bit based on our conversations with Waste Check. We didn't have to double it, but we are anticipating that there's going to be a high failure rate in the next couple of years with those, right? And so much is dependent on winter, right? If we get another freeze-thaw winter, that's what we're seeing from last year.
All right.
The Tiger Terrace minutes are on there. There's no other questions for the Waste Check. Because we haven't had a meeting for the last couple of months, but there was previously, a couple of months ago, a couple of questions about the daycare, where they found space for that, and about germs and stuff. So I went over and was talking to Deborah because we haven't had a meeting, but, so they have 2 rooms, decent sized rooms. One's a rehab, and the other one is for location of some desks for offices or for, not offices, but desks for people that are coming in a day a week or a day every couple of weeks or whatever to do their work at. So they can find other places for those throughout the building. So we're gonna, rehab has a toilet and a bathroom which is necessary for the daycare. So they're gonna move the rehab to the room next door. And then the room that where the rehab was would be their daycare. Right now, they're still in the process of trying to, get some funding. Dal is kind of taking the lead on that trying to, so there's nothing definite yet. The germ thing, yeah, there is, germs going either way, either the kids coming in and getting them in the home or bringing them in, but normally children do not come to daycare if they have a fever or are sick. If they become sick during the day, the parents come pick them up. So I'm probably gonna get just as many germs from visitors coming in, people dropping off packages or, deliveries to the home.
What are they gonna do with the daycare when, because it's happened before, when Tideview gets a lockdown, where people aren't allowed in, because they don't want contamination with, with the residents. So what are they gonna do then with the daycare? They're not gonna be able to have people come in, so.
No, but what do you do with people from dropping off parcels or food delivery? If you have a lockdown, those people are allowed in. I would think the kids would be allowed in.
I don't know, it'd be good to know.
You'd have to find that out. I also wonder, Dallas for this, what about Learning Grove? Is this something they're all right with? I mean.
I guess so. I'm not on Dow anymore, so I'm not sure, but Dow was kind of looking at the logistics and how many kids could they have? Could they run it at a, and they're not gonna do it at a loss, so it's gotta be a profit.
I mean, there's always that, they're always trying to raise money for the Learning Grove, so I don't understand why.
Well, Learning Grove over the last year or so has been making money.
Yeah.
So it hadn't for like the first 10 or 15 years it was there. It has been making money.
I'd be concerned about the lockdown too, because parents would be quite upset if they can't enter that building.
Well,
You can't kidnap the kids.
And I don't think you can make a lockdown between, I don't know, I have no idea.
no, I don't think you can do.
Well, it's more of a-
Lockdown, kids can't come to the daycare.
More of that visitors aren't allowed in to the home.
Yeah.
And maybe there's another entrance they could.
But this sounds like it's not gonna be allowed.
It is separate.
Definitely.
Well, when you have your meeting, next time you have a Tideview meeting, maybe you can get some clarity on that question.
But the way things are looking, it's not looking like it's feasible to go ahead with it.
Okay.
Chances are it's probably not happening.
All right.
Okay, so we'll see.
Next on the agenda is the outside board committee minutes and reports, and the only one we have for today is the Digby Area Tourism Association April minutes. Is there any questions pertaining to those minutes?
Did I miss a presentation that they talked to us about doing the tourism levy?
That was brought forward to quite a while ago.
Yeah, council had passed a motion, both councils passed a motion to go forward with public consultation on the marketing levy.
You might not have been here for that, I'm not sure.
Okay, I have no memory and I was trying to find it.
It came from the Shared Services Committee, so it would
Oh.
have been something under the Shared Services Committee.
Okay, so I never saw it.
Came to council, and council passed a motion approving going the next step to do the public
I
consultation.
must have missed that meeting, I didn't see them.
Then the province had, we're gonna do some meetings, and they had one in Yark scheduled for Yarmouth, and I canceled it, due to lack of interest.
Yes, I was gonna go to that, and they
I
canceled
was
it.
going to, and I canceled.
That meeting, that refers to the issue with bed and breakfast and the assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a different issue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about a marketing levy for the municipality in the town of Digby.
Is there breakfast or assessment for getting commercial rates and breakfast? Is there already?
Removing them, I think.
I think what you're gonna see the province do is they're going to, the bed and breakfasts and inns and that, they're gonna be dropped from commercial taxation down to residential.
What about the lodges and the hotels?
I'm not sure.
They're still commercial.
I'll just add, for outside, Upper Clemens, I was actually in the meeting the day this was made up, so I would have forwarded the copy of it that night. We have hired a GM, Greg Frampton. We had a tour of the facility Thursday night. Things are coming together good. They've had some school tours in there that went really well. They brought back the free admission to people who just want to walk in the park. And feel free to want to ride or purchase a hamburger, get a soft drink. Encourage everybody to get out to the park this year. They've had some help with some construction, getting some paint, new money from the province. We're still going after the big money through culture and heritage of 1.2, 1.5 million. Still working with the premier on that one. But everything seems to be coming together. It's good to have a GM there. We're bringing it all together. He's got some new marketing ideas. He's trying to advertise. He said that they were advertising more up in the Truro way. I think that's great. A lot of investment up in Truro, a lot of people, they come down and do the Upper Clemens. I think it would be great. Looking for a good turnout and lots of sunshine. So free admission will help too. I think we need to bring that back and people can go walk in the park and stuff like that. So just an update on that.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we're gonna move on to Councillor District activity reports, and I'll start with Councillor Tudor.
I've been super busy. A lot of it's individual stuff, but somebody, for example, wanted to keep at it. There's a fellow I've dropped probably 3 forms off over the years to take disability, which he's clearly entitled to, and he got it. It only took 8 years or 7 years to drop the forms off, but which is really good. This poor fella definitely needed it. Also, I've got a mother reached out to me for one of their kids too, as well. So I'm doing the paperwork for that too. I'm pretty optimistic that they're going to go with this. So those sort of funny little things, and do a lot of those. And of course, I have my 4 community meetings coming up in the next couple of weeks. So that's going to keep me pretty busy getting everything all together. And of course, the villages have their own things they're up to. So I've been visiting the Timberland and 3-4 and Westmore villages and talking to the councilors about different things.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Manzer.
Okay, I guess we started off with the Board of Trade awards night at the Pines. We were at that, which was good evening. A couple of weeks ago at the Apple Blossom, I went to the Apple Blossom coronation in Wolfville, where our representative came in first meeting waiting. So that was good. Then they went through the cadets had their end of the season ceremony at their new location back in Havelock, which was pretty good. Back there. In the ATV TV appreciation reunion.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Ross?
I've been pretty busy too, with committees, mostly individual stuff. I've had some dumping issues, and I've had some recreational issues and stuff like that, but I'm getting through those, and, yeah, lots of meetings. This week's busy. Tomorrow morning I'm going to cook at the elementary school, and Wednesday I'm going golfing at the, Richard Memorial to raise money for the foundation, so, busy month.
The roads are green there.
Yeah, and more back road problems. I've been dealing with those, trust me.
Deputy Warden?
I attended the FCM. I didn't know if we were going to work together and do like a presentation, so
I think I forwarded the, FCM really sends out a really nice report.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
I'd like for maybe at the next time we meet, we could, maybe put the presentation up and do a high-level overview of it.
I wouldn't mind that, as the guy who doesn't go to these.
Well, it's just where we went, I want us to report back to you guys on what we took in and how everything went up there.
I'm definitely interested.
Okay, then, I went to the Freeport Fire Department, and they did an appreciation, dinner for Malcolm Bates, 39 years of service, and Roger Thomas, with 40 years of service. I got some pictures that I got to give you to put on our Facebook page. They were totally surprised and enjoyed it. I then went to a police advisory meeting in Truro, which I'm going to talk about at the RCMP because there's, some changes happening. And it was an excellent board meeting. I also went to the fresh food box launch, and I will tell you, there was a lot of people. The mayor was there as well, and in getting out that for a single individual, you can get fresh produce for $6. For a family, it's 10. Now, I mean, it's in a bag. So I bought a bag when I was there. So I wanted to go show some people. And it was like 6 potatoes, but there was like bananas, there was green pepper, red pepper, there was cucumber, there was, anyway, it was fresh produce. And I was really pleased because, and they are going to have pickups down on the island, down on the neck. They're going to have it in Digby. So there's lots of pickups that's going to be happening, and the push is, like, the next pickup will be June 27th. At the one in Digby will be here at Corey's. What do you call Corey's place? Convenience. Is it called Corey's Convenience or the?
I think Digby
Convenience store.
DB Convenience, the one that's right downtown? Okay.
Yeah.
The Lebanese?
No. Corey, had that building for years.
Oh, Marshall's got it.
It hasn't been Marshall's in 100 years.
Hey, things go slow down the
I was
aisle.
gonna say Hattie, it's probably 150 years.
We'll be calling it Marshall's after I'm dead still down there.
Then I went to CBRA, which is Canadian Volunteer Reserve Association, and part of it was a 3-day forum on climate change adaptation. And I will tell you, it was fantastic. I really liked listening. We had Senator Dan Christmas. Some of these were videos, like he spoke on it. And his was collaborative environment planning and 2IC. Then we had another one on vulnerabilities and opportunities. We did prediction modeling. The afternoon was table discussion, which I would rather have had more listening, because in the tables, what's happening in your area, what do you see, that type of thing. They had an excellent panel on indigenous perspective of what's happening, the Biosphere Reserve perspective, planning perspective, and that was done by the Niagara Escarpment Commission. They had Doug Forrest with New Dawn Enterprises. They had Tom Johnson of Escasoni Fish and Wildlife. And they'd be so different. They were the same but different, if that makes sense. Just listening to the Mi'kmaq saying, you know, we should be next to land, we should be listening, you know, and seeing what's happening and what's over the period of time. We also had talks from the Fundy Biosphere Reserve in New Brunswick, Beaver Hills Biosphere in Ontario, and the Bradibor Lake Biosphere in Cape Breton. We also did National Indigenous Day Feast and festivities, and because on Friday is their day of reconciliation, and oh my, we started off with a wrap up, then we went to that, and it was so good, and listening to the people, and then listening to the drumming and the singing, and they had a men's drumming group, they had a women's drumming group, and there was one of those round things that were hold, and then had some of those drums. It was very moving and well received. Probably my highlight though was getting to go to Alexander Graham-Bell's home. Very unheard of to get that permission, but his great-grandson, who is 94 years old.
You don't hear that sentence.
Took us on a tour of his great-grandparents' home.
Wow.
His parents lived there. His grandparents lived there, sorry, not. And the opportunity, people couldn't believe we got that in there. It is owned by a family, but it's in New York. And right now they're doing a $2 million renovation. Nobody lives in the house. Nobody.
Well, it's important historically for the nation.
Oh my
No,
God.
bro.
I mean, but everything came alive. He's sitting there telling you when he came in what his grandmother was doing. And as we went from room to room and we were looking at pictures, he said, oh, look, there's me and my grandmother and my great, and then, oh yes, this is, and the things that Alexander Graham Bell has in that home, the things that he did, the things, so I laughed because he did like to smoke cigars.
Well, sounds like cigars
today,
7
but
years later.
and they talked about how we would take a cigar late at night, walk down to the beach, and swim with a cigar in his mouth. Come back up, and if people would see the red light going, or like someone's cigar. But it was, the whole conference was really good, very interesting, eye-openers at times. Sometimes you're thinking, oh, but I will tell you, it was worth going to. Also, I went to the Learning Grove Fair, so I got back on Saturday at late morning. And they were doing their annual fundraiser, but it's went over well. I do also want to put a plug in on the June 30th at 12 p.m. noon. There's going to be something called Jigs and Reels at the Digby Fire Department. And that is for anyone who wants to come and listen to music. There's going to be different things going on for the seniors. And that's being put on by Conway Workshop. So even though it hasn't happened yet, I thought it'd be good in case anyone wanted to attend. It starts at 12 noon and goes to 4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
the food, bags of food and stuff, is that once a month, every week?
It's, once a month, or every 2 weeks.
It's every 2 weeks.
It's every 2 weeks, sorry.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Saturday?
Well, the next time is the 27th, which is on a Thursday. So, and when I was there, it was the Saturday of the 15th.
So do people have to call ahead and tell them they want, or just show up and?
I'm sure they'll have extra bags there. And I can find you all the list of all the stuff. Well, I can find you.
No, I was just wondering if anybody asked me, I can say, well, it's Thursday.
No, that's what I mean. I can find you where it's going to be in Weymouth, that's what I meant.
Also, I mean, Wayne, too.
Oh, yeah.
Volunteer
And,
businesses that they'll
and
follow for.
I know that when you order, you have to pay in advance. But,
Yeah, just give me the name
yeah.
list of the names.
I will get that for you. But it was, like I said, fabulous. And so good for our, people, and I'm telling you, even with low income, which, I
Which
mean.
is half the communities out here.
Well, and as things change, as the farmers' stuff comes in and changes, the bags will change of what's in it.
Super cool.
All right, thank you. For myself, I attended the Board of Trade Awards dinner as well. I just want to mention that I really think the Board of Trade does a great job highlighting and promoting the local business sector here. And every time you go to it, you learn more stuff about actually what's happening in your own backyard. And it's great to see that they do that. And, you know, hats off to them. But we had...
Some of those businesses I didn't even know existed.
That's what I mean, like, you know.
I don't even know about them, and all of a sudden they're getting awarded.
We got some really nice young entrepreneurs in the area, and this showcased that and highlighted it, and I thought that was great. So, and then again, like I said, we went to the FCM. I thought it was a really good conference. We had a chance to hear all 4 political leaders speak, and we'll give an update at a future meeting, and a high-level update on the whole conference. Next thing I was going to mention is I've been attending the labor negotiations with the Western Counties Regional Library and the union, and we finalized that about a week and a half ago. So that was the 3rd meeting we had, but we've got that ratified. Or I say ratified, it's gone to the membership now for them to vote on it, whether they accept it or not. I don't see any red flags there in talking to the union representatives who were there. I don't think that there's going to be any major issues with it. And then I attended the Relay for Life Survivors Dinner, and once again they had a good turnout, and they did a great job. And I want to pass on thank you to Pat again for the work she does. You know, putting the municipal team together, and so, and I'd like to see, and now that they've changed the format and it wraps up at midnight, I'd like to see for next year if we can't get more involved in it. There was no elected officials that actually walked in it, so I plan on walking in it next year, and hopefully we can have some more of you that'll join us. So, even if a person comes in for an hour or whatever to help out. So, and the only other thing I wanted to mention is that last week myself and Linda met with Tom and Ben, and we met with Greg to discuss the upcoming marketing levy on and basically how do we advertise it and who do we talk to and all that. So, and that's where the public meeting's coming out of from that meeting. So, and that's everything that I have. So at this time now, we have one last thing, and that's an in-camera session to talk about one contractual issue. So we'll have a 2-minute break so that we can have people be able to exit.